Welcome back. Yes, welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kumbi, and on set with me is Biana Brebner, as well as we continue to bring you updates as it relates to happenings in Tobago where Hurricane Beryl is concerned. The shot you were seeing there, that is right at the port. Yes, that is the port of Scarborough, there where you are seeing those choppy waves this morning. And of course, in studio, we can hear how heavy the rainfall is there on the outside. Strong winds. You know, while we were at our break, I took a walk to the window to see what was happening on the outside there, and I tell you, really gusty winds there taking place on the outside. And of course, we continue to urge you guys to be safe. You can see again the waves there. That's the jetty in the port of Scarborough there right now. Currently, that's live. That's a live shot there, and so you can only imagine what it actually looks like in person on the outside there this morning. So we're encouraging you guys to remain safe, of course, as you are, you know, as we're riding this tide together as people here on the island of Tobago. You know, based on our little amateur, we were talking just off air, our own amateur view and assessment of tracking in terms of tracking the hurricane. What we were seeing there on the graph, that the hurricane actually is moving, you know, away from us and heading towards Grenada. And you know, we're thankful that we didn't have as much damage as we were anticipating. We thank God for that indeed, but of course not without damages. Of course, we saw where there are lots of fallen trees on the island of Tobago. In Charlotteville, of course, there were reported trees that fell.
In Charlotteville, in Bongrace as well, there were fallen trees.
That's right.
We've seen also
this is Shervan here. This is Shervan Road here, where you see that tree falling there. And so there's a lot of fallen trees around on the island of Tobago. The information is coming in from TEMA, and of course the necessary agencies are assisting in removal of same. I think this is in Plymouth.
Yes.
This came in.
And you know, we just want to reiterate, if it is that you are not you know, an essential worker, or you don't have to be on the outside, please stay indoors. Yeah,
it is very treacherous, as they would say out there. And so you don't want to be a victim of any unforeseen situation. Well, I mean, they are foreseen at this point in time. Clearly you can see what is happening there on the outside, and so we don't want people to be outside unnecessarily. As I said, overwhelming the systems that were put in place to safeguard lives. So let us try to remain indoors, and let us try, of course, not to be out there unnecessarily as well. We continue to get updates from TEMA. We continue to get updates from, you know, even persons on the outside sending in videos to us as well. And we appreciate that, of course, so that we know what is happening across the island of Tobago. Some of them, we're not even certain where some of the areas are, but this is what is happening on the island of Tobago. Strong winds, fallen trees.
I think this is in Charlotteville.
Yes, I think this is in Charlotteville. You see that the bend there coming around. So, you know, we are urging you to extend to be cautious, you know, in whatever you do, as we keep mentioning throughout the entire program. If it is not necessary for you to be outside, please do not go outside. If you are not an essential worker or an authorized volunteer, please do not go out. We know in the case of Charlotteville there at the seaside, where the community came out to assist with bringing in the vessel. I mean, while we applaud the community efforts, we're asking, if the agencies aren't there to lend the support, please exercise caution. Exercise caution there, so that we preserve lives as well. And you know, we want to go back to Charlotteville this morning. As you know, we have our reporters on the outside bringing updates to you, and we have with us online ready to bring updates for us, Candice Jackson again from the area in Charlotteville there. Candice, are you there with us?
Candice Jackson reporting for Tobago Updates Television. Now we are here at Turpin Bend in Charlotteville, where CERT and members of the community of Charlotteville are right now working with the rain and everything to clear a tree that has fallen just on top of Turpin Bend. And it's about and after they cleared the tree, there's actually another tree up at Flagstaff Hill. So basically what's happening right now is that there is no traffic in and out of the community. So until they have trees cleared, this is what we have to deal with right now. So if you are coming into Charlotteville, please be aware there are 2 trees that are blocking the road. The team are working very, very hard. The combination of CERT volunteers and the combination of the community, people from the community as well, that are working to clear the trees. Alright, this is Sandra Jackson for Tobago Updates Television.
Of course, our correspondent out there, Candice Jackson, bringing that information to you. Clearing of the tree there in Charlotteville that fell. The agencies out there, I think that's CERT, providing that measure of support. There are other fallen trees on the island as well in areas like Mount Grace, Arnersville, in front of the hotel there in Arnersville, in Plymouth. Shervan, we show you a video there of fallen trees in Shervan as well, and other areas on the island of Tobago. Of course, if you know of any that we haven't reported yet, feel free, comment on the live stream so that we can, be updated with what is happening there on the outside. Let us know what's happening in your area. Of course, without going outside and putting yourself in any type of danger at all, we want to know what is happening, and we're bringing you the updates as we get them here in studio. Biana, we were just talking about how the winds are picking up, from where we are in studio here. I mentioned to them I walked to the end of the studio hall to see what's happening on the outside there, and the winds are really they're getting stronger.
Really strong.
In as much as we saw on the tracker where the hurricane is blowing away from us, but we're getting what they call the tail end of it. And so we're experiencing those strong winds and heavy rainfalls. And, I just want to keep praying for the people of Grenada, because from my amateur view,
and what we are seeing based on the tracker,
there, if you look at the direction, you are seeing that it's going to be getting closer to Grenada. In fact, closer to Grenada than it was to Tobago. And, even with what has happened here, we can only imagine what might be happening over there in Grenada. So we want to pray for all our friends on that island. And we saw videos earlier. I'm hoping we're able to show you of St. Vincent, where a video footage in the sea where the sea is choppy and persons there, just looking on to see what is happening there as well. So we are seeing the impacts and the effects on the other islands as well as it leaves Tobago. Thankfully, thank God for that. We really we're fortunate, in as much as things have happened. We have that measure of support. We have all the agencies. They were prepared for this.
And the response time was, very quickly.
That's right. As we spoke with Mr. Alan Stewart this morning, the director of TEMA, and he was telling us, of all the systems that they had in place and all the other agencies who came on board, which is like, we have T&Tech, TTPS, TEMA, CERT, the divisions within the Tobago House of Assembly, all the shelters that have been set up across the island, and all the persons who are there as staff and also volunteers who are assisting to ensure that we bring that measure of relief to persons who are affected in that type of way. We heard of some roofs blowing off from homes. I think partial roof from the Ebenezer Methodist School there.
Partially, one house in Mount St. George, and a house relocated to the center.
That's right. So we're seeing the effects there, and we are so grateful that we have that support, that we have that system in place that can lend support to the persons who might need it. I'm seeing something here on our live from Seema Stewart. She said, yes, dear, we're praying for Grenada. Yes, Grenada, we are praying for you because we know what devastation is like. We know what hurricanes can do. And while we were really spared, we are hoping the same for you as well, though the hurricane seems closer to your island than it was to ours. And so we're just hoping and praying for the best. I saw videos yesterday on social media where persons were preparing for Grenada. I saw where they were preparing, they were securing their roofs and stuff like that. So I'm really hoping that that measure of preparedness will help them to go through this period.
But one observation I made besides the fact that the rainfall and stuff, it's only fallen trees, and we have to be grateful for that. That nothing of a major nothing major happened on the northern side of the island.
That
we are not getting much information of the west side of the island, but I know as time progresses we will get information.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that you mentioned that, and I'm hoping that we're able to see the footage there, but it's taking some time. I was looking at a video earlier about what Hurricane Flora did to Tobago in 1963, and that was Category 3.
Yes, and
this hurricane is Category 4, and there's nothing close to the devastation that took place there. When I looked at the video, I became a little bit emotional because I'm thinking we were really spared.
Yes.
Category 3, flattening Tobago, at that point in time. They're talking about the forestry, talk about over 60% of trees flattened, and houses and homes. And I saw some footage of some homes that were destroyed. And there was an interview with a little boy. He was talking about his experience. And so the news reporter was asking him, well, what was saved from your house? And he said, just this step that I'm standing on right now, and this is some of the footage here that you can see back in 1963 there.
This is in Speyside area?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where this is, but it really this interview with this lady here, she was talking about her experience as well. She fell, she had cuts and bruises. She was there for about 2.5 hours before somebody could come and bring relief to her and her children.
And in comparison to that, with the relief, 2.5 hours at that time compared to relief now, it's by the click of a finger. You probably just have to send a WhatsApp, or you shoot a call to someone to say, I'm in danger,
Yeah, and it really causes me to be grateful.
Yes.
Because as you rightfully said, we didn't have things like trackers.
Yes.
We didn't have WhatsApp back then. They didn't have that speed, to respond to things that had happened. This gentleman, he was talking about the fact that he heard the news on when Flora came, it passed, and I think it came back.
Yes.
So when he heard the news, it was coming back. So he thought he would rush to the shops quickly to get something. But he got trapped on the outside because it hit while he was trying to grab the essentials for his family. And so they were home by themselves, having to, as the man being out of the home, he felt a little bit guilty, not being able to protect or, to be there with his family to lend that support. And we're looking at all of this devastation.
Yes.
The reporter said in the end that Tobago looked as if a fire just rummaged through the island because it was so dry and parched after the Category 3 hurricane doing that at that point in time. And now we have 4, luckily not as close to Tobago as it was back then. So lives have been preserved up till now, and we thank God for that. We're gonna go on the outside. Of course, as you know, we have reporters on the outside bringing you live updates this morning, and we're heading back right now to speak with our very own Luke James Trim.
Just around 10:28 a.m. here in Tobago. My name is Luke James Trim, reporting live for Tobago Updates Television. Now, before I get into it, we at Tobago Updates want to give a huge shout out to Tima for equipping us with the new gear. As you can see, we are all fit for ensuring that you're seeing what we are seeing. At this moment, Louvain Road, Tobago. If you look behind me, you can see trees. So drivers who are using this road, please, one of the shelters Signal Hill, and it is our understanding that the Secretary for Community and Resources that it needs. We at Signal So we were told actually that they have everything that they need. They have water, they have food. Those who are on the western side of Tobago right now, just some background information on Hurricane Beryl. Now, the interesting thing about this hurricane is that it only took a hurricane. Now, that feat is something that was only achieved about 6 times hurricane history. So right now we were predicting that Tobago would have to face many dangerous and extreme conditions, but thus far from what we haven't been getting reports, so we are just hoping that Tobago doesn't bear the brunt force of this hurricane. However, when we observe our regional brothers and sisters, we are seeing that they are experiencing the effects of the hurricane. So once again, everyone to stay safe, be prepared, don't be afraid to utilize the emergency services if you do need the emergency. For those of you who are driving on the road, just be safe. Once again, we're just bringing you the updates. Luke James Stream, Tobago Updates Television.
Thank you there, Luke James Trim, a report on the outside there, coming to you from Shervan, bringing us that report there. And, you know, right now I just want to give you some updates in terms of shelters and other reports that came in from TEMA. In case you don't have it in your possession, I can report to you that fallen trees so far, we have reported 9 fallen trees. Threatening trees on home, we have 1, I'm not sure what area. Threatening tree on power lines, there's 1 as well, I'm not sure what area. Down power lines, we have 1. Sparking power lines, 1. Structural damages, 9 structural damages. A stranded person, 1. I'm hoping that we can bring some relief there. And stranded person on boat, 1, and 1 flooded home. That is a report coming in so far from TEMA. We will continue to update you as information comes in. There's also information on our shelters as well. Biana, would you help me with that? In terms of
we've seen here from TEMA that there are 14 shelters that were occupied with a total occupancy of 103 adults, 26 children and staff, probably volunteers or TEMA volunteers as well. That's totaling to 142 persons would have been within shelters around the island. And some of these shelters are like Bucco, Delaford, Cudler Hall, John Dial, Bell Garden, Blackrock, Hamden, Signal Hill, Pembroke, Mount Grace, Mason Hall, Charlotteville, and Golden Lane. Yeah, so we're seeing that at 142 persons would have occupied these shelters around Tobago.
And we're seeing the most populated shelter being there in Delaford
area,
with 23 adults, 4 children, 5 staff, totaling in 32 there. We thank TEMA there, of course, and all the support staff who is there providing relief for them as well. There we see
quick updated information as well. We must not leave that out as Adana.
That's right. And so the areas affected by fallen trees and lines and power lines are areas like Arnersville, Mount Grace, Spring Garden, Blackrock, Castara, Mason Hall, Englishman's Bay, Arnersville Road, Friendsfield Road, Calder Hall, and Charlotteville, where we have fallen trees and down utility lines as well. Also in Bonaccord, Mount St. George, Carnby, Scarborough, Patience Hill, Bloody Bay Road, Glamorgan and Crown Point, where we see all of these things happening as well. And power outages in the following areas: Friendsfield, Arnersville Road, Bamboo Hill, Bridge Hill in Lescato, Bay Hill in Palatuvier, Devines Road, Mariah, Adelphi Road, Mason Hall, Hope Trace, Castara Road, Mount St. George, Flagstaff, Charlotteville, Shangy Hill, Studley Park, NGC, Canoe Bay, Blackrock, Darrell Spring to Lance for me. Roxborough Hospital is using a generator as a result of this outage. You know, and so the support is there. from the agencies, as we mentioned, to bring relief where power outages occur, and even intermittent internet services, you would realize as well, taking place there in different areas on the island of Tobago. So we continue to urge you all to be safe. For those of you who have to be outside, we understand that there are first responders who must be on the outside, and so we're encouraging you to be safe. For those of you who do not have to go outside, please adhere to the advice and recommendations coming from the agencies, because they know the capacity they have, they know the resources they have, and we want to, of course, deploy these resources responsibly. We don't want to be the cause of having to use resources unnecessarily when those who really need it are unable to get it. So let us, be reasonable and responsible as we tie through this wave together, and for those of you who the report said, are we looking at this video here now?
This I think this is in the Buku area, just off the I Love You Tobago side.
And as much as we love Tobago people, there was the advice and the recommendation to bring your vessels in.
Yes.
And now we're seeing choppy waters, we're seeing high waves, strong winds, and vessels are still in the water, and people are trying now at this 11th hour
to try to save them,
where danger is imminent, and putting themselves at risk, and of course making a demand on the resources that are out there. And so people, we really want you to adhere to the advice, adhere to the recommendations, because you don't want to overcrowd the systems that have been put in place to bring resolve to persons who are suffering from roofs blowing off of their homes, trees falling, flooding. Those are the things
to respond to you before they actually respond to other persons. That's
right. So we don't want to utilize the resources in a way that is irresponsible. So let us all remember that real threat is here. Let us not take things for granted, right? Let us not take things for granted. We saw what Hurricane Flora did in 1963. Don't take it for granted. We have been spared a lot, but it doesn't mean that you're going to put yourself in danger unnecessarily, right? And we continue to bring you updates and footage as we get them, as we receive them this morning, and we want you to stay with us. We're going to continue bringing you live updates, live footage as much as we can, but we're going to go for a quick short break before we continue here in studio. So of course, drop in the live stream. Let us know what is happening where you are. Let us know if there are any fallen trees, what is happening, so that we can report it. And of course, should we need to call for help, we will be able to assist in that as well. So we're going to go for a quick short break, and we'll be right back. And as we go for a break, of course, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Tech Distributors Weekend Special Wings Friday. 3 pounds wings, 2.5 kilogram fries. Special 100 TT Soup Saturday. 2 pounds cube beef, 2 pounds cow heel, 2 pounds chicken foot, 2 pounds pigtail, or smoke bone. Special $150. Super Sunday. 3 pounds leg and thigh chicken, 3 pounds sliced pork, 3 pounds lamb slice, 3 pounds cheese, 2 pack of pasta. Special $250. Located Main Road, Argyle, Tobago. We deliver 20 TT. Contact us on deltechdistributors.com 395-5040 or 237-0102. Deltech Distributors Weekend Special.
Innovative, dedicated, impactful. The public service now and beyond. Today, we celebrate our stalwarts who have left an enduring legacy on the public service in Tobago. Harold Stewart has served over 40 years in different spheres of the public service. However, his greatest challenge in life came when he assumed duties at the Department of Land Management between 1998 and 2022. Mr. Stewart was part of the team selected to build out the structure and enforce the Squatters Regularization Act in 1988. Though he was met with a lot of hostility, Mr. Stewart says the job at land management taught him the most life lessons and was, for him, most rewarding.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, a festival of dancing, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Dance in with DNA, our 11th edition, Saturday, July 6th at 5 p.m., Shore Park Cultural Complex. Featured in this year's lineup, Assemblyman Trevor James, Mrs. Petal Daniel Benoit, Mrs. Diane Baker Henry, Miss Davia Chambers, Miss Leslie Ann Ellis, and Miss Sinel Dempster. Limited early bird tickets. Adults $150. After party only $100. Children pay $75 at the door. You don't want to miss this one. Get your tickets early from Dance Ensemble class members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford 24 Gas Station Canaan, and the Shore Park Cultural Complex box office. For more information, contact Nikisha White at 772-9049 or Nelisa Dick 340-5758.
Get your quality furniture and appliances at Standards. Frigidaire gas range $599. Serta base and mattress $1,899. RC 50-inch smart 4K TV as low as $2,599. Yes, at Standard. Nobody beats us on price. Believe it.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. Yes, this is an extended version of our programming as we bring you updates as it relates to things happening on the island of Tobago where the Hurricane Beryl is concerned. We have seen some fallen trees and we see the agencies sprung into action to remove them. CERT is working there in the Charlotteville Speyside area. We heard about some fallen lines, and so we're getting those things sorted out as well. Some power outages in some areas as well. Thankfully, the response teams are out this morning and doing what is required of them at this point in time. And so we want to ensure that you are safe, and we want to ensure that you adhere to the advice and recommendations coming from all the agencies who have the authority, who have the expertise, who are able to guide us through this period. And we want to go back now to Candice Jackson this morning. They're in Speyside as she brings us some more updates.
To give updates on what's been happening with Hurricane Beryl. Of course, the last time you checked in with me, I was out in Charlotteville. Now, we were able to get out of Charlotteville. There were several trees actually blocking the roadway between Speyside and Charlotteville on either side of Flagstaff Hill. Those have been cleared. However, partially cleared. There's still some debris along the roadway. So if you are traversing that road, please expect there to be a lot of debris still there, because as the winds continue, it's going to bring more branches down, possibly more trees. So that's just something for you to be aware of. And of course, everywhere else that you go around the island. Now, here in Speyside, just to give you an idea what's been happening in Speyside so far, what we know is that there has not been any electricity since 7 o'clock this morning. They've had a power outage, and also we know of 2 people that have been displaced. So, and they are actually awaiting some help right now to get them removed from where they are. So they, I think the Defense Force and maybe some team of people are going to get into there very soon to take them out of where they are. Now, what we're seeing also is that to be coming back very strong. We had a little bit of a pause in the rain, but it seems to be coming back. Now, the seas are out here in Speyside appear to be calm. Not quite as rough as we've seen in Charlotteville and some other areas of the island. So we're not sure if the seas here would remain that way. But of course, you know, you have to take a caution wherever you go, because storm surges are a part of the passage of this Hurricane Beryl. So you're gonna have to watch out for that if you're on the shoreline. The good thing is that here in Speyside, it seems as though all the fishermen have heeded the warning and have brought their boats to shore, because we saw in Charlotteville what happened when a few fishermen decided that they were not going to heed the warning and they left their boats in the water. And of course, at least one is capsized. The fishermen had to risk their life this morning to bring a few more to shore. So that's just an idea of what's been going on. So that's it for me right now for Candice Jackson here in Speyside. So just so you know, there's just been a power outage in the area, as well as the displacement of at least 2 people that we know of. Now, there could be more, but from what we can confirm right now, there's at least 2 people that have been displaced and are awaiting assistance from the authorities. And everything seems calm except for the skies. The skies are looking a little scary at this point in time, which signals we are going to get a lot more rain, and perhaps heavier rain than maybe we had all morning. So yes, this is from me, Candice Jackson at Speyside. Bye for now.
Thank you, Candice. coming from Speyside there this morning, and thankfully, as she mentioned, the fishermen were they adhered to the advice and recommendations in terms of bringing their vessels in this morning. We're gonna go out again. So one of our correspondents, Luke James Trim, is on the outside again, bringing us some updates. So let's see where Luke is and what he is reporting for us this morning. While we wait on Luke, we going through social media pages trying to see what is happening in other islands because, of course, as we said, the hurricane is moving. And I just saw a video there where St. Vincent and the Grenadines, unfortunately, I'm not sure we'll be able to pull it up on screen for you to get some insight on what is happening there. But I'm telling you, thankfully that we did not experience that here on the island of Tobago. If at any point in time later on today, we can post it on our pages for you to see what is happening there in St. Vincent, and as it moves to Grenada, we will try to see what is happening there as well. But for now, our focus is on Tobago as we are continuing to, remain safe and provide a measure of relief to those of us who are here on the island of Tobago.
And as you said, keep Tobago informed, right? There's an update coming from the Water and Sewerage Authority, and they are stating that some areas in Trinidad were affected by their water supply were affected. That's in the northern side of Trinidad. But in Tobago, we have at least 6 places that were affected, namely the Hillsborough West, Richmond, Bloody Bay, Kings Bay, Highlands Road, and the in Charlotteville. So those areas were affected by the water supply in Tobago.
And it's these are things that would happen in a situation like this, of course. And so we just have to, bear it out, and, the agencies will be there to bring the relief as soon as possible. I think
especially as you speak, the agencies will be there soon. As we speak to, we're seeing a lot of areas out of electricity supply because, as Candice was saying, Speyside was out of supply since 7. So I know relief will be soon.
That's right. We have Luke James Trim on the line this morning to bring you that update.
Be careful when you are entering WIM. Pay attention to our pages as we are about to give you the exact location of where the street is. So just stay. Good morning, viewers. Luke James Trim reporting for Tobago Updates Television. Now it's just about 9:11 a.m. here in Tobago, and as we continue to bring you all updates in regards to Hurricane Beryl, right behind me you can see that a tree has fallen. We are currently in the vicinity of WIM, so please pay attention to our pages where we will give the exact location. So those are the updates we have thus far. We are just ensuring that you all are seeing what we are seeing live here in Tobago. All right, viewers, yes, so the rain is falling. We're not experiencing strong winds in this vicinity. All we have observed thus far is that tree that has fallen right behind me. Once again, we are in the vicinity of WIM, so drivers, whoever is driving on the road, please be careful when you are entering WIM. Pay attention to our pages as we're about to give you the exact location of where the street is. So just stay tuned, and we're bringing you all the updates live here on Tobago Updates.
Thank you, Luke, so much for that update this morning. And of course, for those of you who are viewing our Facebook pages and even our YouTube channel, we are asking that you can send in videos and photos if you have them. Remember, we're not asking you to go outside. If you can do this from your window, then so do. If it is safe to do so, you can WhatsApp them to 284-6597 so we can have some idea as to what is happening where you are as well, because we want to keep updated. We want to update all of our viewers, and we want to know what is happening. Maybe peradventure we can, inform the agencies of what is happening in your area if there is no power, for instance, where you are. And Biana, we want to continue to encourage our viewers to, be safe.
Yes.
In as much as we would love to see what's happening in your area,
safety.
I want to use the words of our chief secretary yesterday while he held that press conference. Now is not the time to be a social media influencer. answer. We don't want you saying, oh, look at where I am, but we just want to know what is happening if you can, and if it is safe to so do. Please stay indoors, ensure that your family is safe, as we mentioned earlier. Check in on your neighbor, your friends, somebody in your community. We're going to continue to bring you the updates as we get them coming in here, as it relates to primarily the shelters. How many persons have had to be, accommodated at our shelters, what is happening with fallen trees and lines, outages, and if there's anything that you're experiencing in your community, maybe not you directly, but if you know of something, feel free to send the information into us. Of course, we will be updating our pages occasionally throughout the course of the day today, as we bring you the updates. And we're sitting here and we're hearing the strong winds on the outside of our studio.
Really strong outside.
That's right. It's really, really strong out there. And we do hope this is the video I was talking about. This is St. Vincent and the Grenadines here. So Hurricane Beryl is having that impact there as well. And thankfully, we did not have to experience that. But I pray God, puts his hand this morning for them and protects them. And I do hope that the type of response that we have in terms of the agencies providing relief, that they have that there as well. This is St. Vincent and the Grenadines, for those of you who are now viewing us. So our neighbors in Caribbean islands are also experiencing this. When you look at the tracker that we had, we are seeing
it's going directly.
Right. And the thing about it is that I feel as if, okay, we're looking at it now and we're seeing, yes, it is closer to St. Vincent than it was to us. And also Grenada will, experience
probably something of it. I don't know if it's rainfalls or the same heavy winds as we experienced.
Yes, and we are hoping, that communities can band together, but we don't want people going outside if it is not necessary. We hope that people are able to find shelters before the brunt of it hits where they are located. We continue to pray for the islands and the chain that will be experiencing any measure of impact from Hurricane Beryl. We know it's Category 4, and so of course we know that, things will be happening, as we saw there in that video from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we're hoping that there's no loss of life, especially. The primary objective is to preserve life.
We hope that nothing major happens across there, just as how we have probably fallen trees and 1 or 2 persons displaced from homes. We hope that St. Vincent and the Grenadines wouldn't experience that much.
That's right. We continue to pray for our brothers and sisters. You have to be a brother's keeper at this point in time. The old saying says, when your neighbor house is on fire, wet your own. And right now, everybody's house wet, and so we want to kind of pray for people. We want to keep people in our prayers and to let them know that there is support, there's help. Even speaking to the director of TEMA, he was talking about international help that will come to help the islands that are impacted, so even if they might not have the resources on island, resources are available for them to tap into. So I'm thankful for that. Should it get out of control or should it be beyond their capacity, that there are agencies ready to lend a helping hand. And that is who we are as human beings. Humanity is a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, we have to wait when incidents like this happen to see the beauty in humanity, but it's still there. People are still caring, and at the end of the day, we are trying to preserve life. I think this is the roof there in Ebenezer Methodist, where we see the roof is lifting there.
Yeah, partially damaged.
We are so thankful that we have not reported or recorded any loss of life. I'm really, truly thankful for that, because while we were preparing for this, we heard the severity of the hurricane. And so a lot of people actually went into panic mode. A lot of people were stressing and, they felt that type of, oh my gosh, what is going to happen? But I'm so happy that, in as much as we're seeing flood waters, this is in Crown Point area now, right outside of Cocoa Reef Hotel there. And this area is prone to flooding, and in as much as we're experiencing this, I'm thankful that life has not been lost. And so we are happy to report that. And of course, we want you to continue to share your videos and photos, should you have any, so that we can see what is happening. Remember, you can WhatsApp them to 284-6597 so that we can see what is happening there in your area. Of course, remember, there are numbers you can call should you need relief. pay attention to social media pages, pay attention to media houses, whether it is television, radio, on social media pages, pay attention to what is happening. The information will come from the agencies and the media houses. Please do not try to be a media house yourself. If you don't have the capacity to so do, please let us try to remember the key thing is to safeguard against any unnecessary occurrences where your life is concerned, because we want to use the resources we have responsibly and to really give it to those who need it. And that is where we are right now. As the updates come in, we're seeing here representatives, I suspect from CERT. We seeing the regiment is out there also as well,
assistant,
you know, trying to provide a measure of support. This is our reporter there, Mr. Porter, you know, helping us to bring some updates as it relates to what is happening on island. So you will continue to see videos and photos coming in. Stay tuned to our Facebook page. We'll be updating, you know, occasionally throughout the rest of the day, even onto this evening.
We're seeing
of course,
landslides.
That's right. We're seeing landslides here. I'm not certain exactly what area this is. If the production can tell me where this is. This is Lake Atto. They're saying Lake Atto, this has happened in. And of course, we expect these types of things to happen when there is weather of this nature. You know, we're always so happy to be bringing you the information so that you can be kept in the loop. You know what is happening in and around the island of Tobago. We've seen here flood waters. I'm trying to establish where this is. Eastern Main Road, Trinidad. That's why I couldn't figure it out. But this is on the Eastern Main Road. Trinidad also is experiencing some flooded areas as well as a result of Hurricane Beryl. We will continue bringing you updates as well all across the island of Tobago and parts of Trinidad, wherever we get the footage from. Lucia. Wow.
This heavy wind and rainfall, Adana.
That's right. Strong winds. We have to be so thankful for where we are and our experience, and continue to pray for our brothers and sisters on the island chain as the hurricane moves in that direction. We will continue to bring you information, but this is where we have to stop for this portion of the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. We continue to bring you information. Stay tuned to our social media pages at Tobago Updates on Facebook and on YouTube as well. Primarily on Facebook, you'll be seeing, you know, some clippings, videos, and posts as well as we update you. But we'll be back at some point during the course of today, so stay on our pages to know when we'll be back. Thank you so much for choosing us, and thank you so much for being on this journey with us as we bring information to you. Stay safe, stay indoors, stay dry, phone a friend, find out what is happening, and share that community spirit and community love. We have to go for now. This is where we end, but we'll be back later on today. Be good.